Hi Shivam. So please introduce yourself and welcome. First of all, I would like to welcome you in our Scholar Spotlight series. In this episode, we have a scholar from IISER Mohali. Hi Shivam, please introduce yourself and your department, institute, degree, which research areas you are currently working in.
So, hello ma'am, my name is Shivam Singh Rawat. I am pursuing Integrated Ph.D. from IISER Mohali from Department of Biological Sciences. I've done my undergrad from University of Delhi, and at IISER right now I'm rotating under the Dr. Shivam, who works on immunology and antibody nanobody engineering. He also works on immune cells. So right now, yeah, that is where I am in my lab is experimental immunology lab. So,
Okay, great, Shivam. You are really doing scientist stuff now. So, what motivated you to pursue like research as a career?
ma'am, my father is a scientist, and
Okay.
he has been a researcher. So throughout my life, growing up, I've been very close to the field of research and biology. So looking at him and how his life was, how curious he was about his questions, which he was answering during his PhD or while he was a postdoc, or now that he's a group leader. So that lifestyle really motivated me, and it fascinated me. And then I started thinking of studying bio. I chose PCB, and slowly I started to enjoy the freedom which comes with being in this field, which is that you get to study what you want, you get to ask questions the way you want to ask them, and then find the answers to them. So that whole experience really you know like motivated me to pursue this field.
Okay, great, Shivam. So, you are really answering questions in great detail, which would be really helpful for the future aspirants. So, thank you so much for being patient while answering your questions. So, I would like to move towards the next question that people usually ask, what is the selection process for this course, that is the integrated PhD at IISER Mohali? Which exams like future aspirants should target if they want to be next Shivam?
Ma'am, to get into an integrated PhD program, I believe in any IISER or even at IISc, I think IIT JAM is the major exam which you have to give. So I did not know about IIT JAM when I was I was pursuing my BSc. I had a friend, and she said, "Oh, I filled the form for IIT JAM," and so that is when I got to know, okay, there is not just CUET and GATE, there is another exam. So
Okay.
I filled the form, and so that is how like my journey started for preparing for JAM. So IIT JAM, I think, is the main exam which you need to give to get an integrated PhD seat at any IISER.
Okay.
Except for I think IISER Pune. IISER Pune also IISER Pune takes you in through via JG Wills. So
Yes.
I give IIT JAM, and then I fill the form for the integrated PhD program, and you write your SOP, give your whole CV to them, and then they select you, call you on for the interview, like based on your SOP. Because I have noticed that there were people who had been called for the interview who had ranks which were a bit higher than my friends. So that indicated that okay, your SOP, your statement of purpose, mattered a bit more at IISER Mohali than your JAM rank. So that is the process how you get an interview call at IISER.
Okay, thanks, Shivam. Can you just elaborate a bit about the format for the SOP? Like what all they expect from the aspirants to write in the SOP? As in, like, do they expect proper experimental design, all technical stuff in the SOP, or just they want to see the curiosity of the student and the creativity in answering the specific question or framing the hypothesis? What all they expect in the SOP? It would be great if you can elaborate.
I have three seniors and four of us in this batch, so I only know about seven SOPs in total.
Okay.
So the seven SOPs, which the one common thing I found in the seven SOPs which are at IISER Mohali right now is that none of those SOPs stated that I want to pursue research in, let's say, neurology. That was not the case. What they look for is that whether you have a vision, whether you know why you want to be here, do you have a research idea in you? So if you are writing an SOP, it should not just be that I like to study biochemistry, so I want to join into PhD. I like neurobiology, fascinates me. So those SOPs will not get selected. And you also don't need to have the most brilliant idea because, of course, you're coming out of BSc, so no one is expecting you to know everything. They just want to see, do you understand the field you want to work in? Do you understand how science works? Do you have a vision? Do you have a goal? And even if your vision is not the most scientifically accurate vision, but you have it. And if you have it, I think they will call you for an interview because they'll find you interesting enough to at least speak to, I guess.
Okay. So thank you, Shivam. Can you tell me, like as you mentioned that IIT JAM is the like entrance exam that is mandatory to apply for the integrated program at IISER Mohali. Can you tell us a bit about the cutoffs, like what rankers usually, like SOP is one thing, but like
Yeah.
there should be some like cutoff, like with but till this rank they will call for the interview. If it is less than that or higher than that, then they won't call, like that. Is there a threshold cutoff, or only anyone can, if somebody have qualified IIT JAM, suppose they can apply for IISER Mohali? Is it the case, or
I think if we talk about the like this depends on category as well. But if I'm talking inclusively, then I think that hello.
yes, yes, you are audible.
Okay, oh, sorry, your screen froze, so I thought. So I was saying that because it is like talking inclusively, I believe that if you have qualified, you can, of course, if you have qualified IIT, you can fill the form and you can give us the SOP. And if luck is by your side, maybe your SOP stands out or your and overall CV stands out. Maybe then the JAM rank doesn't matter. But in my like what I see inside IISER, the guys who've been selected, they are all under 400, and in our batch they are, I think, are all under 200. Yeah. So it is not impossible to get in if you have a rank which is a bit bigger, but it is, yes, it will be competitive, and you have to your SOP really matters. If you don't have a very good rank, then SOP matters. Category wise, I cannot speak, obviously, but inclusively, I think a rank which is under 500, you have a strong chance to at least get an interview call if your SOP stands.
Sure.
Otherwise, a rank under 200, I think, is a good.
Okay. Thank you, Shivam, for answering in detail about the cutoffs and what actually matters. So, as you mentioned, that SOP matters more than cutoff. It has a higher weightage, so aspirants should actually pay more attention towards writing SOP than worrying about the higher cutoffs or the ranks. So, moving towards the next question. So, as you mentioned that you wrote IIT JAM BT, and can you shed some light towards the preparation strategy? What exactly did you follow? What order did you follow? Like what materials, test series, or previous year questions? A bit about time management, revision, all those things. If you can answer about
Um,
that.
So when I was giving this exam, so I mean, since you are also from the same field, you know that there are exams every month. From December, you start refer, and then there is IIT Jam, there is GATE, and there is CUET PG, then there is GAT-P. So I did not study targeting IIT Jam. So I cannot give you a very very specific answer on how to crack IIT Jam. I
Yes.
think my strategy was very simple. I just thought every exam is to ask science. So just study science. I avoided. See, I had a very bad habit. I mean, it's not a bad habit, but it's a habit which will put you in trouble when once you enter PhD, I guess. Which is I used to study from YouTube videos a lot. So I was not a guy who used to refer to standard books. And one thing which I changed, I think from September onwards was, oh no, I think yeah, September, August, September I changed. I picked up standard books and I studied QB full length. I studied Lodish, and then Leninger is there. So these books you need, and of course, when I say full length, I don't mean every page, but you
Yes.
look at the syllabus, look at the PY. More important than the previous year questions are the previous year topics, which topics are getting repeated. So those topics I used to study from these three books, and I used to then one by one, as each exam approached, I used to take the previous year question of those exams. I used to try to get into the mindset of that particular exam and use the knowledge I was gaining from the standard books, because science does not change.
Sure.
The facts do not change. The process of a chemical reaction or a physiological reaction or whatever pathway does not change. The question can be spun, but if you know how it is working, I don't think you will face problems. So I referred to standard books and I went on one exam at a time, and PYQs I used to solve. That was how I tried. I was luckily successful in all four exams. So yeah.
Yeah. So thank you so much for sharing your personal strategy, which has worked out for you, and obviously you are an inspiration for many students that like just studying once you were able to clear all four exams. That's incredible. Okay, so let's move towards the interview. So, as you mentioned, after SOP, once you apply to IISER Mohali, they shortlist for you, like they shortlist you on the basis of your SOP as well as your rank in IIT JAM for an interview. Can you
Yes.
just tell us a bit about the like interview procedure there, like panel, what are their expectations, what kind of questions they ask, and what they expect from the aspirant to answer in a specific format, or like you can explain a bit about this.
So the interview process is quite, I think, enjoyable. If the panel is very friendly. Mostly people are very afraid of the panel, and so was I when I gave my first interview at IISER Mohali. I used to think that these people are just here to, attack me, maybe give me hard questions, but that is not the case. You just have to be very, and it is hard, but I think you have to be very, very honest in your interview and just be honest about what you know, what you are comfortable with, and if you don't know something, it's not the end of the world. Just tell them I'm not well read. So I went with, because my interview was very hectic, as on the 22nd, I believe, or the 21st, I had my integrated PhD interview in Bangalore, IISc Bangalore, and the very next day I had to take a flight at night and go there. So I was so tired that fear was not catching up to me because I was so exhausted. So I just was like, yeah, I'll just go and like give this interview. So I did not feel the pressure. And go, you sit in a lobby, you get registered, show your documents, and then they give you half an hour time to just settle down. And you are sitting with all your competitors and looking at them flipping pages and all. So I sat down, and as I said, I was not feeling the pressure. So I thought, now I'll study. Now I'll revise my notes. And well, maybe luckily for me or whatever, my interview was the first interview.
Okay.
And they just said Shivam Singh Rawat, and I lost all hope at that point. Oh my God, I was about to study now, revise my notes now what to do. So I just went there, and they were very kind. They asked me, what like do you want to do, or want us to ask you, what are your favorite subjects? So I was always fascinated by cancer as a disease. So I was very passionate. I am very passionate about cancer. So because my interview was first, I could not revise my notes. So my mindset at that time was, I am comfortable with cancer. So I'll just say cancer research, and then whatever subject they ask me from, they'll ask me. That's my level. So I said cancer research. But somehow everybody in that interview panel got very excited. So they said, "Oh, cancer research, no subject, cancer. We'll ask you cancer questions then." I said, "Yes, sir, ask me cancer questions." So they started asking like questions which were very fundamental and logical, not like fact based. So they were, my first question I remember was, "I will give you two petri dishes, and how will you figure out which one is a cancer cell line or which one has cancer cells in them and all?" It was very simple. I said, "Okay, contact inhibition, blast like morphology, you can see."
Yeah.
Then I was asked about. Then one thing is that which I would suggest is that when you go for an interview, look at the professors, look them up. What are they working on? Because professors at such institutes have a tendency to ask questions from their own field. So when I was asked a question by Sadhan sir, who works on epigenetics, he asked me, "Can only the genetic mutations cause cancer?" Now, luckily, I knew that guy works on epigenetics. So I could have given whatever answer, but because I know he works on epigenetics, he will enjoy an answer if I say, "No, sir, epigenetic changes can also cause cancer, even if there is no genetic mutation."
Sure.
So I gave that answer and he was happy. So that is how my interview went. But for the majority of the cohort, people usually give subjects as their interests, like biochemistry and all. So for anybody who wants to give an interview to IISER Mohali, please note that protein is a very integral part of IISER Mohali curriculum. They will ask you left, right, center questions from protein. So study biochemistry very well. Be very thorough with protein, protein engineering, the chemistry part of it. They ask you a lot of heavy questions, and they can go very deep. So I think it was your video only. When I was preparing, I looked at you, and your suggestion was that the interview stops when you stop. So that is very true. When you as a student break, that is when the interview stops. So don't think कि यार इतना deep नहीं पूछेंगे. तुम deep पढ़ोगे तो deep पूछेंगे. So interview is very like very chill. So whatever you will tell them, they'll ask you and they'll expect you that okay, if you said us कि ये पूछ लो, तो फिर now you better know. So that was my interview experience.
Yeah, so thank you so much, Shivam, for sharing your personal interview experience as well as giving the tips to the future aspirants to ace in the interviews. So, moving towards the next question. So, most of the people do ask about the coursework at IISER Mohali. Like, once you are selected for the PhD, what all courses you will have to take, projects, labs, how semesters will look like, stress level, overall campus life. Can you just shed a bit light towards these topics?
I think, like, being very brutally honest, IISER Mohali has a very stressful curriculum because they take two mid-semester exams and an end-semester exam. And now, when you enter as an integrated PhD, what you need to, like, what mentally you should be prepared, because you are only 4 or 3 students who are entering this program at IISER. So at IISER only 4 to 3 or maximum 5 students get selected for biology. Now you take classes with BSMS students who have been in this curriculum for the past 3 years. They know every trick in the book, how to score, from where to score, what professor asks what.
Yes.
Now you enter there as a fresher, not knowing anything, and there is relative marking. So if you are not at the top, you are straight down at the bottom. There is no in between when you are an integrated PhD because the pressure is such. So I remember I entered in August, and 2 weeks into my curriculum, I was very chill here. Let's enjoy. I am an integrated PhD now. And as an integrated PhD, you stop thinking about net. Yeah. You just stop and you're enjoying your stipend and whatnot. And suddenly my senior said, "Are you ready? The mid-sem exams are after 15 days." And I was like, "I just entered. How come mid-sem exams are being held so early?" And he said, his line was, "Welcome to exam one." So you have to be on your toe. You have to study. And you are watched. Every single professor knows you. You might not know the professor, but the professor knows the integrated PhD student.
Yes.
Our marks are discussed in meetings. We are told you are underperforming. You have to outperform the BSMS students. We have selected you, and they put you under pressure. The
Yes.
faculty does expect you to perform well. And your performance does also affect you because you have to, at the end of the day, go and ask for lab rotations also. And there they ask you how much you scored. And they ask you just for formality, they know how much you scored. They know who is the top tier 1 student in this batch, and they know who is the guy who's struggling a bit. So they know everything. So you have to be very prepared. Bring your A game because there will be two mid sems, there will be an end sem, there will be relative marking. You will be asked to take a mandatory course which is paper presentation, so seminar delivery. So you have to deliver seminars. I think this semester I gave, last semester I only gave two paper presentations. This semester I had to give six paper presentations, I guess. And it was hectic because you have to, go to the class, you have to go and do your lab rotations. Lab rotations also fetch you marks. It's a 4 credit course and they give you full projects.
Yes.
So you have to go and perform in the lab, you have to perform in your classroom, you have to give paper presentations.
Yes.
And if you are a very, you know, extracurricular kind of guy, then you also will feel कि अरे dance competitions are going, I want to go there also. Music competition, I want to go there also. So it is hectic. It's not easy,
Okay.
but it is fun. If you enjoy science, if you enjoy the pressure, it will be fun. But yeah, you will have to compete with the BSMS crowd, and they are good. They are.
Yeah. Okay. So it's very competitive here at IISER Mohali, right? Yeah. But
It is very.
yeah. But you are brilliant and you are already combating so many hurdles and facing so many stress, but still you are very chill in the interview and also in life, I'm expecting. So let's move to the next question. So, by the way, aspirants have also sent me few questions. Like they are very concerned about the fee structure at IISER, like how much you will have to pay in a month. Or, so this was the
So I
question
think fee,
sent. Yeah.
fee structure at IISER Mohali is on a semester basis,
Okay.
and you will have to pay around 60,000 per month per semester.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, if like we get our fellowships, so you can if you save up well, there is a good chunk of that fees can be paid off by you as well.
Okay.
So, and obviously if you are like depending on your background, there are fee waivers, scholarships available. So I think it's a very healthy environment which supports students. So I think if you are selected as an PhD, fee should not be a very big concern.
Okay.
That is if you get a CPI above 7.
Okay.
Otherwise, your fellowship is gone.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So thanks for mentioning about the like internal details for the fellowship and other criterions. So last thing for this episode. So if you would have to summarize your journey in one sentence, what it would be?
My journey in one sentence would be that the journey doesn't stop. The journey never stops.
Great.
It keeps on going. So never expect that you reached a milestone. And one thing is that I faced a lot of trouble in my undergrad because there were many things, some issues with my results. My results got delayed, and I got marked absent when I gave the exam, but still I got marked absent. So all these things, when they pile up in your end semester, they create pressure. So I remember when I came to IISER Mohali for the interview, and I showed them my mark sheet. They said, "Oh, you are absent. So how come we'll be able to select you?" And I told them, "No, sir, I was not absent, and this is just an issue with you. And trust me, I have passing marks, I have good marks, so I'll get that won't be an issue." Point being, pressure was there, and uncertainty is always there.
Yes.
And maybe if any student who's watching right now who thinks कि मेरी तो CPI भी अच्छी नहीं है, मेरे को तो आता भी नहीं है, मेरे को ड्रॉप ना लेना पड़ जाए. My only suggestion to them will be, I was there, I was not the brightest, I made it here by God's grace. And second of all, self-belief. Always believe in yourself, fight the odds, fight your situations. Everybody is scared all the time, nobody knows how to ace things, they just push through. So be brave, push through. You'll have to keep pushing, and the journey don't stop. Yeah.
Yeah, really inspiring story, Shivam. Thanks for being the part of our Scholar Spotlight series. Thank you so much for joining. I hope I'm pretty sure this would be a great help for the future aspirants. And probably some of the viewers who are watching right now will be like your juniors this year, I hope. So, best wishes
I'm
for,
very ready
yeah, for
to
your
meet someone.
career also, Shivam.